In a rare and powerful display of unity, the Supreme Court delivered a unanimous 9-0 ruling that will be remembered for years to come, a decision that fundamentally redefines the boundaries of presidential power in the United States. This historic decision sends a clear and unmistakable message to the nation and the world. The president cannot bypass Congress when it comes to imposing major economic policies, such as tariffs that affect millions of Americans and global markets. As the justices deliberated, the world watched with bated breath, fully aware that the outcome could have triggered a wave of global economic instability, shaking financial markets and impacting everyday lives far beyond U.S. borders. Instead, the court's verdict has provided much-needed reassurance to America's allies and to financial markets everywhere, signaling that the nation's legal foundations remain strong and resilient even in turbulent times. The ruling reaffirms a core principle of American democracy. Congress, your elected representatives, must be actively involved in decisions that have sweeping impacts on the economy and on the daily lives of every citizen. By striking down the president's attempt to impose unilateral tariffs, the court has likely prevented a sudden spike in prices for everyday goods, from groceries to household essentials, helping to protect the wallets of ordinary Americans. This is more than just a legal story. It's a powerful reminder of the importance of protecting the balance of power that shapes and safeguards our democracy, ensuring that no branch of government can act without oversight. The justices, regardless of their personal ideologies or political leanings, spoke with one voice, affirming that no single person, not even the president, is above the checks and balances carefully set in place by the nation's founders to prevent the abuse of power. This case put our constitutional system to the test, and the answer was clear, decisive, and unwavering, a testament to the enduring strength of American institutions. The precedent set today will not only guide future presidents and Congresses, but will also serve as a crucial reference point for generations to come, shaping how power is exercised at the highest levels of government. For American families, the implications are real and immediate. This ruling could help keep the cost of living in check, ensuring that sudden policy changes don't lead to higher prices at the checkout counter or unexpected financial strain. It's a crucial moment not just for American democracy, but for the global economy and for every household that depends on stability and fairness in government decisions. This story affects us all, reminding us that the principles of democracy, accountability, and justice are not just abstract ideals. They are the foundation of our daily lives and our shared future. This case is the culmination of years of escalating tension and power struggles between the White House and Congress over who truly controls the nation's economic policy. For decades, presidents and lawmakers have clashed over the boundaries of executive authority, especially when it comes to shaping the country's financial future. The controversy intensified when a president invoked the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, or IEEPA, to declare a national emergency, not over war or disaster, but over persistent trade deficits. Using this rarely tested law, the president imposed sweeping tariffs on foreign goods, bypassing the usual legislative process and acting without direct approval from Congress. This bold move raised alarms about the potential for unchecked executive power. Businesses and state governments quickly pushed back, filing lawsuits and arguing that IEEPA was never intended to be a tool for routine trade policy. They claimed the law was designed for true emergencies, not as a shortcut for economic maneuvering. The Constitution is clear. It grants Congress, not the president, the exclusive authority to levy taxes and regulate commerce with foreign nations. This fundamental principle is meant to ensure a balance of power and prevent any one branch from dominating economic decisions. As the legal battle unfolded, lower courts across the country issued conflicting rulings, deepening the uncertainty and leaving businesses, lawmakers, and the public unsure of what the law actually allowed. Ultimately, only the Supreme Court had the authority to settle the question. Can a president use emergency powers to sidestep Congress and unilaterally impose taxes or tariffs on trade? The stakes could not have been higher. At the heart of the case was the fundamental separation of powers, a core principle of American democracy designed to prevent tyranny and protect individual freedoms. As the nation watched and waited, the outcome would determine not just the fate of a single policy, but the future balance of power between the branches of government. On January 30th, 2026, the Supreme Court delivered a clear answer. In a unanimous opinion, the court ruled that using IEEPA to impose broad tariffs for economic reasons is unconstitutional. The justices found this overstepped presidential authority and infringed on Congress's exclusive powers. The Chief Justice wrote, "The power to tax and regulate commerce are foundational pillars of Congress's role." The ruling immediately invalidates the tariffs, narrowing the president's emergency powers. The court drew parallels to past cases, reaffirming that presidential power is weakest when acting against Congress. The message: economic policy must go through the legislative process. There are no shortcuts around the Constitution. The shockwaves from this ruling are already reshaping Washington. By rejecting unchecked presidential authority, the Supreme Court has strengthened Congress's hand. Lawmakers from both parties call it a victory for constitutional balance. Presidents will now have to work with Congress, not around it, to enact major policies. This could spark new laws clarifying emergency powers and increasing oversight. The decision pushes critical economic debates back into the public square. Your representatives, not a single executive, will have the primary say in policies that affect your finances. It's a shift toward greater accountability and transparency. The Supreme Court's decision will directly impact your family's budget. The struck-down tariffs were taxes on thousands of imported goods, raising prices for consumers. With these tariffs gone, prices on many products are expected to fall. American industries that rely on global supply chains will benefit from stability and predictability. Economists predict more business investment and job growth as uncertainty fades. The transition won't be instant, but the burden on the economy is lighter. Congress can still pass new tariffs, but only through open debate. For families, this ruling addresses a major source of price inflation. It's a real example of how the Supreme Court's decisions affect your wallet. The impact of this ruling goes beyond economics. By limiting emergency powers, the Supreme Court signals it will scrutinize executive overreach in other areas, like surveillance and border control. This could strengthen protections for privacy and civil liberties. A unanimous, nonpartisan decision helps rebuild public trust in government. The case highlights the importance of an independent judiciary, interpreting the Constitution above politics. The ruling empowers citizens by ensuring major decisions are made through a transparent, representative process. When Congress debates policy, you have a voice through your elected officials. By returning power to Congress, the court gives more influence to the people. It strengthens the connection between government and the governed. Legal experts across the country are emphasizing the extraordinary significance of the Supreme Court's unanimous decision. The fact that all 9 justices spoke with one voice sends a powerful message about the clarity and importance of the constitutional limits at stake. This rare unity underscores the seriousness with which the court views the boundaries of government power. Dr. Evelyn Reed, a leading constitutional scholar, describes the 9-0 ruling as a thunderclap, a moment that powerfully reaffirms Congress's exclusive authority over the nation's finances. She notes that such a decisive verdict is not just a legal milestone, but a clear signal to all branches of government about the enduring strength of the Constitution. Importantly, the court did not strike down the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, or IEEPA. Instead, it clarified that this law cannot be interpreted as a blank check for the president to bypass Congress. The justices drew a firm line, making it clear that emergency powers have limits. This decision stands as a crucial check on executive authority, ensuring that no president can unilaterally control the nation's economic levers without oversight. Dr. Marcus Thorne, a respected economist, explains that the ruling restores much-needed predictability for businesses and investors. He points out that, going forward, trade policy will be shaped through open debate in Congress, not by sudden executive orders. This brings stability to markets and confidence to the business community. Across the political spectrum, experts agree, the court's decision is not about supporting any particular party or economic theory. Instead, it is a robust defense of the American system of checks and balances, which is designed to prevent the concentration of power in any one branch. The justices recognized that at its core, this case was about the very structure of American government. They understood that the foundational principle of separation of powers was at stake. By reaffirming that the power of the purse remains with the people's elected representatives, the court has strengthened the role of Congress in shaping national policy. Ultimately, this decision is a fundamental affirmation of the constitutional process, a reminder that the rule of law, not the rule of individuals, guides the nation. Legal scholars and historians agree. This ruling will shape how government power is exercised for generations, ensuring that constitutional boundaries remain strong and clear. This decision is part of a broader Supreme Court trend to rein in executive authority. Recent rulings have pushed back against the steady expansion of presidential power. The court's message complex challenges can't justify bypassing constitutional structure. The founders divided power to protect liberty. Today's ruling reasserts that design. The president's authority is significant, but not limitless. When executive actions encroach on Congress's powers, the court will enforce boundaries. This recalibrates the balance of power and reminds each branch of its role. It's a powerful lesson in constitutional governance for generations to come. Today's Supreme Court decision is a victory for American democracy. It reaffirms that laws, not leaders, govern our nation. The ruling protects your voice in economic decisions through your representatives. This is a direct check on executive overreach and a reminder to stay engaged. Checks and balances require courts, Congress, and citizens to play their part. This case shows the power of civic engagement and defending the Constitution. Now it's up to Congress and the people to uphold these principles. The debates over government power will continue, demanding our vigilance. This ruling is a call to action to protect our democracy, today and always.